A virtual listing appointment. So you want to think about what type of business are we in? It's very important to remember right now more than any time in the world to think about what type of business are we in. We are in the service industry. We're in the business to serve our customers and our clients' needs. There is still currently a need to sell homes, and there is still currently a need to buy homes. I can give you many examples of situations where a seller is in desperate need to sell and a buyer is in desperate need to purchase right now. We have to focus on those people. We have to be able to provide the service that we've always done so well to them. So how do we do that in this market? Now is the time to evolve into a virtual world. Okay, for those of you that have been holding back on technology, it's time to embrace it, and it's time to embrace the technology and the market differentiators that Howard Hanna has to offer. So how do we move forward? There are some buyers that need to move now and some sellers that want to sell now. Let me show you how to do a virtual listing appointment. So the first thing we do is staying connected, the initial contact. In a normal world, you know, a seller would give you a call and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my home. Or they'll reach out an email. You know, it could have been a past client. It could be a new seller that was referred to you by a friend or a past client. It could just be someone that knows your brand and your name and your presence in the community and is connecting with you. But normally they connect via email, cell phone, office phone. That is the normal, okay? We even have instances where people are connecting through Messenger on social media. So, you know, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, they may be connecting with you there as well, okay? The initial contact with a seller and buyers, I cannot express how important it is right now that we're keeping in touch with all of our clients, our past clients, our current clients, our friends, our family, sellers, buyers, leads in our database. We should be connecting with everyone. We want to make sure that we are staying connected with everyone during this unprecedented time. So what we want to do is we want to provide calm advice in current market conditions, prepare for the future. You know, these are phone calls that you should be having, and these are not solicitations by any means. This is not the time to promote, you know, are you looking to buy or sell? But this is the time to ask them how they're doing. You know, how's your family doing during this difficult time? Is there anything that I can do to assist you? You know, if you've got a current seller, explain to them current market conditions, explain to them how we are handling our business during this difficult time. It's very important that you're staying connected and you're providing calm, expert advice on how they should proceed, okay, based on their needs. What are the questions that sellers ask in any market? In any market, is it a good time to sell? And what's my home worth? I will tell you that the new technology that just came out called BuySide, if you have not had an opportunity to watch Kate Lesor's video or go into GoHanna and check out BuySide, I cannot stress that that is the one thing you need to do today. It really answers all of the questions that you know the seller normally asks. How many buyers do you have in my marketplace? You know, what's my home worth? You know, how many people are looking online? You know, is it a good time to sell? You know, what's my market condition like? So it's really a great marketing piece and a great resource for you to help you answer, is it a good time to sell and what my home is worth? If you remember before COVID-19, over the last several years, we've been experiencing a housing shortage in many of our markets. I can tell you that the housing shortage is still there. There is an abundance of buyers in many of our markets that are still in need of a home. Some of those buyers are taking advantage of the market that we're in, and some buyers are holding back. They may want to see the home in person before making an offer, and that's okay, we understand. But we're starting to see a lot of buyers that the longer they extend the time that we're to remain in our homes in many of our markets, they may want to see the home in person, but they may be making the exception to ask the seller to do a virtual video of their home to provide them a tour that they can share with the buyers. The buyers might be asking the sellers to do that for them. And I have an example of that in this presentation. Buyers are making offers unseen. We have seen multiple offers unseen, making offers on properties where they haven't seen the house at all. They're just going off of either the virtual tour that's been offered online or just the photos based on the MLS that you're in. So we are seeing buyers making offers sight unseen. We even seen one this week that came on the market virtually and had 5 offers sight unseen. So we're starting to see that as well. There is a real need for buyers, so we do need those listings to come on. Let me show you how we're able to list homes virtually. The initial contact, introduction and connection, ask them if they're willing to do a video walkthrough of their home. So there are multiple ways that we can do that, but one of them is Facebook Messenger. And this is how this video was done, and it was converted into YouTube, but for this presentation. But there are sites called Google Duo, which is an app, Hangouts, which is an app. You can connect through Messenger. They can record a video on their phone and upload it to YouTube and send you the link. There are multiple ways that you can help educate the seller on sending you a virtual walkthrough of their home. So let me just get you connected for that. We've got a little bit of a delay here. Bear with me a moment. All right, can everyone see the video on my screen? Okay, let me get this connected for you. Okay, there we go. So I had the homeowner walk through the property for me. So that is one way that you can actually have the seller do a virtual tour of their home for you. It is very informal, but it gives you an overview. Of course, you would ask them to go around the exterior and into the basement as well, but just wanted to give you a quick, short snippet of how you can do that. So that's the home tour. The easiest way to connect multiple people, or even just through you and the seller, is Messenger. Again, Google Duo, Hangouts. There are multiple ways, whatever your comfort level is. Some of your cell phones, I believe if you have an Apple to Apple, you can actually see the little camera when you go to dial a phone number. And if they have that technology on their end, you can just video chat them via your cell phone when you're going to make a phone call, which is pretty neat. So you've actually gone ahead and toured the property. Now it's time to actually schedule a face-to-face interview with that seller. So you want to do a virtual interview. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect you with what that looks like. And again, it's just a small snippet of, I didn't go into a full interview. Of course, there's going to be a lot of questions that a homeowner is going to have that you're going to need to use your expert advice in answering. All right, just checking in. Can everyone see that video? Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. So just wanted to make sure we have all of our technology in place before we proceed. Well, let me explain to you a little bit about what we sent over those maps. Okay, so some of you were reporting that you couldn't hear the video. I'm not quite sure why it wasn't working when the last video worked, but I will tell you that basically I had a little interview with the seller face to face, and I used Facebook Messenger to do that. So it was really easy to use. I was able to connect with her on Facebook. Just like in this video, I was able to see her face to face. I was able to have a great conversation with her. She mentioned what home improvements they did to the home, how long she lived in it, where they were looking to go, different things like that. So, you know, it's really important that even though we're in a virtual world and we can do a lot of things via phone, it's important to understand that we really need to see the customer. We need to understand their excitement or their concerns or their emotions so that we can manage them properly. We can't always do that via text or via phone call. You know, we want to be able to see their reaction. So we talked about buy side in this video, and you know, the different values that are available through buy side. So again, if you're just tuning in, please keep your questions and answers in the questions and answer section, and we're going to get to them at the end of the presentation so that I can try to answer as many of them as possible with you. So a little bit about buy side. Kate LaSource sent out a tech tip earlier this week or late last week. It was pretty phenomenal. It went through buy side. I'm just going to walk you through it real quick again, just so that you understand what buy side is and how it's able to assist you in your business. So it is here in Hannah Presentations. So that's the important thing. In Hannah Presentations, you can actually, this was a presentation that I prepared for that homeowner. You can actually see in the pages that buy side is actually showing up in the presentations for this particular property. So it shows the signature heat map, online buyer activity, you know, how many buyers are in the marketplace, and, you know, the featured buyers that this particular potential home may have. So there are 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, targeted price range. So it really does provide all of the information you need in your traditional Hannah presentation. For those of you that aren't familiar with Hannah presentations, this is a great opportunity to learn this great feature, this market differentiator that we have here at Howard Hanna. So buy side is an opportunity for you to prepare what's called a BMA for your customer. So you can prepare this all on its own, or it can be incorporated into that Hannah presentation. So we're just going to go ahead and put that address of that property that we've been showing you throughout the presentation in. It's going to ask you for square footage. You can adjust the bathrooms if you know it's only 1.5 bathroom, or you can just simply click next. It's going to ask you which of these would you like to include in your presentation. So a little tidbit about this particular property owners, they purchased this property a couple years ago and they bought it out of foreclosure. So you see that low value coming in there. That's about the price that they paid for it a couple years ago. But believe it or not, it was just appraised last October, and it appraised for $165,000. And so even these market values here are a little bit low. Would you want to incorporate those in there and send it off to the customer before having a face-to-face conversation, knowing that they already know that they have a value on their home of $165,000? Maybe not. Maybe it's not a bad idea to do your research prior to, and then only send this over once you're face-to-face with them, that you can review it step by step. Very important. You want to get the emotions of the client. That's the point of doing a virtual appointment. But for the sake of this, we're just going to go ahead and leave these in here just so I can show you what this looks like. This is a great piece that you can share with your customers. So it features 56 buyers. If you are preparing this piece for your customer and you want to get as many buyers in that pool as possible, so between 110 and 155, if I know that her property potentially could sell for 165, maybe I want to adjust that a little bit and see how many true buyers are actually within a price point that she might be able to sell her home. So then you would just generate the PDF, and it does take a few minutes to populate. But Buyside is a really great tool for you to understand what the market is like. It shows a heat signature map of what the current activity is in that area based on online algorithms and online activity. It also shows how many buyers that we have, and the buyers are being pulled from Engage, Real Scout, Spacio, Howard Hanna Leads. It's very important to understand where all of those buyers are coming from. It's a great feature. Like I said, Kate Lesor did a training video on this, I believe last Wednesday, and she did a tech tip on these reports. It really is a great thing to take the time to learn this great new tool, because it is going to be beneficial for you moving forward in our market. So just give it another second. It's loading. It does take about a minute to load. All right, we will come back to that. So I'll show you that once it's fully loaded. So Buyside is really important. Again, in regards to Hanna presentations, once you do and create a presentation, and there it is, it populated. So let me just make sure that you are seeing that. So here's the report. This is a really nice 6-page report. It gives the real-time market report for 9 Crawford Lane. It's branded to you, the agent, and why they should partner with Howard Hanna when selling their home. It's got some nice bullet points there, what services we provide and how we are of value to them. So real-time valuations, again, for this particular property, those valuations might be a little off. You can see that e-appraisals actually represents a value between 114 and 155. So it's getting a little closer to that appraised value, but it's pulling from the zip code, not necessarily the market. So the medium activity in that area, so we can see there's a little key down here. It says active to very active, and they're in about the middle range. So there is some activity in that area. Where it's really dark purplish pink, that's a very high activity, so it's a buyer heat signature. And then it goes online to show online activity for the last 90 days. So there are currently 17,907 buyers online within a 5-mile radius within this home's price range looking for a 3-bedroom. I think that's a pretty powerful statement when you're on a listing appointment, virtually or in person, to be able to say that to your consumer. And it also gives a breakdown of, where are the buyers looking? Are they looking for a 4-bedroom, or are they looking for a 3? Well, this home has a 3-bedroom home. 43% of the buyers are looking for a 3-bedroom home. Now take a look over here, the price range between 100 and 199,000. That's where most of the buyers are searching. So, this is a really strong listing. This is a listing that you would want to take into inventory right away. Because you know that there's a huge buyer pool out there that you could tap into. Coming down, there's 58 potential buyers. So it's really important that you tell that to your consumer. You are personally going to reach out to every single one of these buyers or buyers agents to let them know that you've got a listing coming into inventory and that you're going to be listing this home and that they may potentially have the buyer for it. So that's something, I cannot stress to you again enough. Learn the ins and outs of Buyside. Kate did an hour-long presentation that was phenomenal. She went over it twice in the presentation to make sure that you thoroughly understood it. I cannot stress enough that it's the time to adapt to that technology. It's just a phenomenal piece of marketing for when you're on a listing appointment. Okay, so let me just jump again to the other screen. I'm getting this whole jumping from screen to screen thing down. So you've met with the seller virtually, you've had your interview. Now it's time to actually get the document signed. And so again, state by state, county by county, multi-list by multi-list. The way we do business is different. I was on a 2-hour training session last night with an agent from New York, and she used a digital signature that I'd never heard of. But here in Pennsylvania, we use DocuSign and we use digital ink. Digital ink is provided by our ZipLogix application, where we actually go in to get our contracts. And this is, a great tool that you can utilize if you have not adopted how to do digital signatures. Maybe when you were out there working in face-to-face in the world, that you were meeting with every single one of your clients for every initial and every signature. Well, in some markets, we can't do that right now. So it's important that you are taking the time to adapt and learn the technology that is needed in order to evolve in the world that we're living in right now. Like I said, I cannot express how important it is that you're staying connected to your community, that you're staying connected to your friends, your family, your past clients, your current clients, and your past leads. If you are not staying connected, you're taking this time to, take a time out. When we enter back into a face-to-face business, you might be behind the 8 ball. You might be struggling to get caught up. Your customers want to hear from you, your current listings, your current sale buyers that, maybe haven't found a home yet. They want to hear from you, and they want to hear that this is possible. If they do find their dream home online, that not the entire real estate industry has been shut down. We are working remotely. We are able to assist them in purchasing a home right now. It's just done a little bit differently, okay? Anything is possible, but we have to be able to be open and receptive to the world we're living in, and we have to be able to evolve. So I can tell you, I personally am really good with technology. Anybody that knows me knows that, but this last 2 weeks, I've had to learn very quickly some new technology like Zoom and Microsoft Teams, and it's been, there is some struggle, there is some challenge there, and that's okay. Keep at it, keep working at it. Turn to your managers, turn to your sales team. You guys have always been 100% supportive of one another when you are in the office. I'm sure that hasn't changed remotely. Make sure that you're connecting as a team. So when your manager is holding their Monday morning or Tuesday morning or Friday meeting, that you are jumping online and you're connecting with your tribe, you're connecting with your community of the real estate agents that you work with. Tune in to Hobie on Friday. I cannot tell you, he answered 1,000 questions, and and some of them had to be general, because in one state we're allowed to show houses, in another state we're not. But I can tell you, I learned so much from Hobie's question and answers on Friday. And Kate Lesueur has been phenomenal. She has a lot to offer as far as teaching and educating. And Hannah University, I can tell you, I have not tuned into Hannah University as much as I have this past week, just because if I can learn one more thing, this is going to help me do my business better in now and in the future. And so it's very important. So digital signatures, DocuSign, if you use DocuSign, it is a service that you have to pay for. ZipLogix is also a service that is paid for. Each of these different services are, a little less expensive or more expensive. It's definitely going to be what your comfort level is. But make sure that you're sending those listing contracts digitally. And when you're doing the Hannah presentation, you're doing the buy side presentation. If you're doing it separately, it's okay to do it within the Hannah presentation, but make sure that you are connecting with that seller virtually so that you can see their emotions, so that you can understand their concerns, so that you can address it head on as you're going over the listing contract, as you're going over the presentation. For those of you, and I'm not quite sure if this is across the board, I think it's only for 3 states, but glide.com is a great way to send a seller's disclosure the seller can complete online, opposed to them having to print it and then resending it back to you. So glide.com is a great resource. If you are using ZipLogix, they have lots of different partners that allows you to partner up with a company that can help you send the seller's disclosure remotely, so that they can complete it easier, opposed to having to print it, sign it, fill it out, and send it back. But make sure that you're sending your contracts digitally and you're going over them step by step with them, and that you're just not sending a blind contract for them to sign. We still have a fiduciary duty to make sure that we're serving our clients to the best of our ability and that we're explaining everything very clearly. Okay. Make sure that you are providing the value that you have to your clients. I know that I've had a couple questions is, well, you know, what value do we have to our clients right now in this market? Well, you have to remember that you work for one of the #1 companies that have invested in a lot of different technology that is more advanced than a lot of our competitors. That is very important. And you have to remember that you have an amazing team behind you. And most, you know, and you have your manager, you have your core service team, your mortgage representatives, your insurance representatives. You have a network of realtors in-house. The power of that alone, the culture that we're in, the collaboration that we strive here at Howard Hanna, that network is just unmatched anywhere else. You know, there are a lot of companies where every realtor is for themselves. Here at Howard Hanna, the culture that we provide is that we share our listings. We come together at our Monday morning meetings. We collaborate. We are working together for the success of everyone. So make sure that you express that network of realtors that you have in-house that may potentially have a buyer for your listing. The Howard Hanna Home Pros. This might not be in all the states, I'm not sure, but you know, here in Pennsylvania, we have a list of vendors that has been updated that lets us know who is currently working and who is not. And those Howard Hanna Home Pros can help facilitate a move for you. You know, there might be a handyman on that list that's currently working. Mighty is a company that is doing home repair estimates virtually, connecting with the seller, addressing the issue remotely, and providing a home repair estimate. Again, not sure if they're in all states, but that is a resource that we're familiar with here in Pennsylvania. The home warranty is available. So for a seller, you know, a buyer might be looking at their home remotely. They may be making an offer remotely. Some might be making it contingent upon a final walkthrough of the property before moving forward with the contract. Others might just be purchasing it sight unseen. Sellers may want to consider doing an extended home warranty. HSA here in Pennsylvania does it for 2 years. That might be something that gives the buyer peace of mind. That might be a negotiation that we might be able to offer the buyer when taking a listing into inventory. It's a conversation you want to have with the seller. Sellers are taking home photos for us right now. So the photography is being done by the seller. Well, there are a lot of great tools in GoHanna that allow you to potentially stage a home. So if you go into Howard Hanna's advertising, you can find a site called Box Brownie. You can actually stage a room. It's roughly around $32 a room. It's really great. If a homeowner took a picture of the outside of the house and it was a rainy day, you can put a blue sky in the background. Spotify. This is an advertising that you can offer to your sellers. If anybody knows what Spotify is, it is a music app. I use it on my phone when I'm out walking. And it will, you know, it is a free app that if a customer wants to have 30 minutes of free music, all they have to do is listen to an advertisement or watch this advertisement, and then that home could be advertised on there. AdWorks is great. I will tell you, I have a family of 4 in my house right now, and every time I look at them, they are scrolling social media. My husband's on Facebook, my daughter's on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok. I mean, they're on all of these different sites, and every time I see them, they're on social media. That is where that's where everybody is right now. They're stuck in their houses and they're surfing the internet. So why not use AdWorks? AdWorks is a great way. You know, I'm grocery shopping remotely. AdWorks will pop up. So if you have a listing and you want to advertise it, AdWorks is a great way to advertise. Virtual tours. You know, we can have the sellers do a nice virtual tour. You are educated and knowledgeable enough to assist them with doing a nice virtual tour through YouTube that you can share. We also have sites on our MLS that can take the photos and convert it to a virtual tour. And then Howard Hanna e-cards. How often are you using e-cards? There is a dynamic e-card in there that will pull your listing through that you can share with your entire sphere of influence. And that means past clients, leads that came in, your family, your friends. They need to know that you are still working so that if their real estate needs need to be met, they know who to call. You want to focus on your branding. I cannot express to you now more than ever how important your own personal brand is. The young lady that I was on the phone with last night was setting up a Facebook account for the first time. And we set up her personal account as well as a Facebook business page. And her brand is that she always takes these great goofy photos with her clients that buy and sell houses. And she really wanted that out there on social media. And that's how she wanted to portray herself. So focus on your brand. Your brand might be that you offer great, valuable content through going Facebook Live. And I cannot express to you how important videos are right now. People want to see you. People want to see anybody right now outside the people that are in their homes that they're seeing every day in and out. Yes, I love my husband and my children. Your online presence is so important. Virtual tours, YouTube presentations. You know, maybe it's time to set up a YouTube channel for your personal business, providing great content for the public. Social media, again, reverse prospecting. So Market 360 in Real Scout is a way to reverse prospect, but also buy side is a great new way to reverse prospect. So if you have listings in-house, I'm hoping you're keeping in touch with your sellers and that you are actually reaching out to the other agents in your community to say, you know, I have this great listing. You know, you may have had a buyer that walked through it before we were locked down. Maybe they would want to reconsider this property, or you're reaching out to an agent to say, I see that you had a buyer in this marketplace. You might spark another agent's energy to actually get motivated to reach out to their customers to have a conversation about your listing. So Find It First is still available in some markets until May 1st, but the hot list has always been there for Howard Hanna. So it is a great way to share a listing that may be potentially coming on the market. Or maybe you had a seller that said, I want to withdraw my listing right now, but maybe you want to continue marketing it on the hot list so that you don't forget about that potential opportunity to get a listing sold. Expert negotiation skills. I cannot express to you that you need to remember that you are an expert. You have great negotiation skills. So when you are talking with your sellers, you have to negotiate the transaction. You have to make sure that you're meeting local municipality requirements. And right now, that's a challenge in some of our markets. Some of the municipalities are closed. Well, how do we negotiate with the title company and the lender in order to proceed forward without the necessary documents that we need? So we have to oversee the process. And most importantly, make sure that all of your customers are enrolled in Real Scout, all of your buyers. Because that reverse prospecting that I talked about through buy side and Market 360, it pulls from a lot of locations, but Real Scout is really the place where that it's most vital that you're entering all of your clients to get set up on a Real Scout search. Particularly if we're doing exclusive listings in some of our markets, it will go to the customers that are set up in Real Scout. So very important, okay? So that is all I have for today. And now I'm going to take a look at the question and answer section and answer any questions that you may have. And I'm sure that you guys have a lot. So it says, okay, so someone said, would it be better to view if they held the phone sideways for a panoramic video? I know that on some applications, you can only video with the phone upright. But I do know that if you do turn the phone sideways, it does give a fuller view. but it depends on the type of application that you're using. If you want to walk through via Messenger or FaceTime, is there a way to record the rough video for your own reference? Not to my knowledge on Facebook Messenger. I did try that the other day. I could not figure out a way. If you do find out a way, please send me an email. The only way I could do it was take my husband's cell phone and record the video that was happening on my phone. Can we post a link for virtual tours and public remarks of the MLS? So the MLS is going to be based on your market, but a lot in Pennsylvania, the West Penn Multilist actually has a space to link a virtual tour that you can fill in. Okay. If you email a buy-side report to a customer, does it automatically update like Hannah presentations? No, it is coming out as a PDF format. If it is in Hannah presentations, then it would update accordingly because if you're sending it over as a web link. But if you're just sending the buy-side report, it is coming out like a PDF, so it is not going to update. Only when it's a web app can you send it and then it would update automatically. So for those of you that don't know, Hannah presentations, it can be sent to a customer two ways. One, through a PDF, or two, through web link. If it is being sent through web link and any of the content you've added on there, like an active listing now goes to contingent or sold, it will update automatically for the next time the customer opens that link, okay? Okay, someone asked, was Hangout a Google app or a Facebook app? And I think that that is a Google app. I'm not quite positive. One of my agents used it when they did a virtual listing appointment last week, and he found it to be very, very instrumental and easy to use. I used Facebook Messenger when I was assisting a seller with an appointment, and we were able to connect up to 5 people on there at one time. So it was pretty phenomenal. We got to see everyone's face on the screen, and you could click on one screen to open it larger. So if you had, we're doing a lot of virtual tours with buyers and sellers on the line. And I'm not one to connect just the buyer and seller together. I believe all agents should be a part of the transaction every step of the way. So when you're connecting someone, you would friend them all on Facebook because they all need to be your friends. And then you would need to connect them as a group on Messenger. And then you would ring them. Simple as that. And I can actually show you that if you'd like to see that. So let me just share a screen, come back to Google, where are you? So let me just show you, log into my Facebook here. So here we are. So we have Messenger. Up here at the right-hand corner, there is a little lightning bolt and a circle. When you click on that, it's going to ask you, do you want to create a new message or a new group? On here, you can connect a new group. And I already have a couple groups created. This is, my daughter was in England, and this is actually how we communicated through the group as a family, so that we could all be on the line at the same time. So to create a new group, you click on it and you simply just connect the people. So the buyer, the seller, and the other agent can all be on the line. You would simply just pick the people, you can search them, and then you just simply select them, and then you select the next person. But again, they need to be friends with you, okay? So once you have all of the people on the group, I'm not quite sure how many you can add. We've only had up to 5 because that's how big my family is. Then you would hit create, so then there's a new group, okay? Coming back up here at the top, I'm gonna connect to the family group, and you can see there's a box that populates down below. And there is a camera and a phone. You can call them. This is how I called my daughter for free in England. Or you can video chat them. And when you ring them, all of them are going to be rung at the same exact time, and they'll all answer at the same time. And then you'll see 4 different people on your screen, which is really phenomenal. So it allows the seller then to walk through the home, and the agent and the buyers can ask questions which is a great way to get information about a potential listing. Okay, believe me, the sellers that are motivated are doing everything that they can to get their property sold. So they're adapting. So coming back to this. Okay, so Colleen says, when I added buy-side pages to my Hannah presentation, it says no data found. It's important to understand that in some of the most rural areas, there might not be enough comparables found for you to use buy-side. If you think that you're in a very populated area and that there should be buyers and there should be things working, you would want to reach out to support on buy-side. And again, there is a support question and answer thing on buy-side. I would reach out to them. Any tips on how to show your home virtually if a buyer wants to see a specific thing? We just discussed that. Someone says, how can I get a copy of this? It is recorded and will be available later. The service you provide list, this PowerPoint is recorded and it will be provided to you. It says, when can you use buy-side prior to the list documents being signed? So you can always create a BMA for the seller and decide whether or not it's powerful enough to just go ahead and send it. We do something called real estate reviews with our past clients. So people that have been in the market, you know, that have purchased a home 5 to 7 years ago, we like to reach out to them quite often and just do what's called a real estate review. And so when buy-side came out, I could not express to you how excited I was. Nice little 6-page report is an eye-opener for a past client that may potentially need to buy or sell a home. And, you know, to reach out to them and say, hey, I'd like to give you a little update on what's going on in your market. Would you be interested? And then calling them and asking them to connect virtually. And going over the buy-side presentation is a great time to use the buy-side. I like to call them real estate reviews. So let's review your market and what's going on there. Okay, so someone asked which e-card can be used to send specific listings. So they're called dynamic e-cards. So let me see if I can connect you real quick. Come back. Share. So coming over to GoHanna, under marketing, you would go to e-cards. So there are so many different e-cards in here. It's just amazing. So you could scroll through and not be able to find it, but I like to just hit Control F and there'll be a little box that appears on the right or left corner, top corner of your screen. And I just like to type in partial words and it'll pull up. So it took me right to the word dynamic. And I can actually see which e-cards are available through the dynamic e-cards. It'll always pull the first 4 photos of the MLS, or at least that's what it does here in Pennsylvania. But if you ever wanted to preview an e-card, you can simply just click on it. To select it, you just simply select it. And it is a very easy process to get through, to go through the e-cards, to go ahead and send them out and send to your sphere of influence. Okay, is there a way? Okay, so the question was, is there a way we can access Kate Lestore's video last Wednesday? I know that you guys are getting bombarded with emails, but Hannah Education is working really hard to send out what content for you to assist you. So if you are looking for the buy-side one, just simply go to your email and search buy-side, and you'll see the Hannah Education email with the links attached to it. I will tell you that I opened it up last night just for a little refresher course to make sure I wasn't missing anything to go over this with you guys today. So the staging app that I talked about was Box Brownie, and you can actually find that here on GoHanna. So if you're in GoHanna and you come over to Agent Media Marketplace, Spotify, AdWorks, Box Brownie, and so much more are in here for you. Okay, so if you're looking for different ways to market your listings, be more creative, Box Brownie is right here, AdWorks is right here. I love AdWorks. It's a great resource. You can actually set it up for 3 months, and you can actually continuously change your content over and over again within those 3 months. So you're not stuck to just one ad. If you have multiple listings every week, you can change it up to a new listing, which is really great. So there's a lot of great content in here under Agent Media Marketplace for that. So the other apps I mentioned, again, this is recorded, is Google Duo, Hangouts, and what was the other one? Facebook Messenger and Zoom. Zoom, you're on Zoom right now, but you can actually sign up for a free account, and you can use a free account. It allows you to record up to 40 minutes, or not record, but be online for 40 minutes with your customer, which is plenty of time. Can you do a tour with an iPad? Absolutely. You can do it with a smartphone. You can do it with an iPad. So the software that I mentioned for property disclosures, like I said, the one that we're using here is only available for 3 states, and I'm not sure what states they are except for Pennsylvania, and it's called glide.com. But if you do some research, or talk to your manager, they'll be able to assist you with finding other opportunities for you to get seller's disclosures out. You can actually send a seller's disclosure through zip forms, and share the document for the seller to complete online as well. It's just a little more encumbersome than Glide, but it is something that can be done. Okay. Again, the services that we provide will be provided. Of course, when you're videotaping, someone asked, would it be better to have all the lights on in the house? Absolutely. Make the house as bright as possible so that the video is nicely done. In this particular instance, the seller sent me the video, but because I wanted to use it in this presentation, I had to teach her how to upload it to YouTube. So it was a really great experience, and she was very excited to learn YouTube. So, we have to adapt and evolve in this market and learn the technology that's needed in order to help our customers. It's just like learning real estate all over again. Okay, so can I demonstrate signing into zip forms using digital ink? I have never used digital ink. So what I can do is that digital ink is only specific to certain states. I don't believe that it's available in all of the states. What we can do is potentially do a little video for you that we can put out on how to do digital signatures, and we can work on that in depth on how to do it. It is a fairly easy resource to use, but I'm going to go ahead and put a video together for you on how to do digital ink, and I'm going to have Kate Lesor and Hannah Education send that out to you for anybody that does use digital ink through ZipLogix, if that helps. So where does the buy-side reports get buyer data from? It's 100% within the Howard Hanna tools like Open House, Real Scout. So it's pulling, for the buyers in there, it's pulling data from Hanna Leads. It's pulling data from Real Scout, Open to Close, Spacio. So it's pulling the information that is being provided. So the more of us that input into Engage, buy-side, Open to Close, Real Scout, the more data that it will provide to the other realtors as well. In regards to the online activity, it's pulling from a lot of different algorithms online that is providing that data for you. So How can you handle home inspections? So that is really going to be county to county, community to community. How are things being handled in your state right now? Whether or not home inspectors are deemed essential or non-essential. It really is going to be up to your county, your state, your community. So you're going to want to check with your manager on if there are any home inspectors currently working in your marketplace. Again, the webinar is being recorded. So someone suggested that an agent could do a sample 1-minute video of their own home to show a slow walkthrough, which is a really great thing, and to do a 360 turn of whole room, which you can provide to every single one of your listings to assist you with getting a virtual tour of their home. I think that's a really great idea. So someone asked, where do you go to do a BMA? A BMA can be done in Buyside, and you also can do a full market comparable analysis in Hannah presentations. And yes, they're both on GoHanna. I can tell you GoHanna has all of the tools and resources that you need. If you don't spend a lot of time in there, today is the time that you want to be spending a lot of time in there getting to adapt to all of the great market differentiators that Howard Hanna has right now. So again, you know, there are a lot of great resources in Howard Hanna. Someone asked, you know, who do we turn to get assistance with doing a virtual tour? I would talk with your office manager, see how they can assist you. We're all adapting. You know, we're not all completely 100% positive with YouTube and Google Duo and Facebook Messenger, depending upon what level you're at as far as technology. But I will tell you, try to embrace it. There will be some frustration that you will have to overcome. But the more you play with it, the more comfortable you get it. I will tell you in the future, it will be invaluable to you because we are evolving. Our world is changing hour by hour, day by day. And we need to make sure that we're staying on top of everything that we need to do to service our clients to the best of our ability. Okay, in the Facebook group, can you do more than 4 and see them all? Yes, we have a family of 5. We used to all be on the screen, which was really nice to be able to see everybody. So measurements for virtual listings. You can ask the homeowner to do measurements. However, if the listing was previously listed, if you take the previous listings measurements, you're going to want to put a disclaimer that, you know, it is, they are estimates, they are not actual. And in most cases, we're not doing measurements of rooms right now for the virtual listings that we have taken into inventory. And it hasn't been something that has hindered someone from calling on it. So what form of communication is available for reaching out to the buyers that match your seller's listing? So you're not going to connect directly with the buyers unless they're your buyers. You're going to be connecting with the buyer's agent. And that conversation would be, you know, I'm taking a listing into inventory, or I have a listing into inventory. The seller's really motivated. We really would like to sell. We're doing things this way to facilitate a listing or a sale at our company. Would your buyer be potentially open to having a virtual listing appointment or a virtual tour of the home with me and you and the seller on the line to maybe have them consider our home for a potential property that they might want to purchase? Just a couple more questions here. So the question was, you know, what do you do when the homeowner doesn't have the skills to make a video or take photos? That is something that, you know, I think that all of us are going to have a challenge with. You know, you might have that customer that doesn't have a smartphone. They're still working off of a flip phone, although I do believe that is far and few between. But we do have, you know, my mother is 75 and I swear she's more technologically advanced than I am. She's always teaching me something new. So, there's always a way to assist them to learn. So if they do have the smartphone, maybe they might not have the technology or the ability to adapt to this new way of listing a property, but maybe someone in their family can assist them. So keep that in mind, that, maybe there's someone there that can work with you that might not be the homeowner. A lot of the families are coming together, and you might find 4 or 5 people in the house. And I will tell you, I've learned all about Snapchat this week from my daughters and how to do a lot of fun things on there. And that was a challenge. She kept saying I needed to download it, and I didn't want to because I didn't want to learn one more thing, but I did. And then it turns out I really, really love it. And it's a great way to do nice videos on there and download them. So that's a new way to do things too. I wouldn't recommend teaching your clients Snapchat, but for you, it's a lot of fun. So the question was, after you do an initial tour and it's recorded, the homeowner sends it to you, are there any apps that you can recommend to create a tour that looks a little more polished and professional? So I will tell you the App Store is great. I use InShot. I know a lot of my agents before we were even locked down were using a lot of different video editing apps to make the rooms lighter, to add Howard Hanna logos to the video. There's a lot of great apps on your phone. Really just search the App Store, see which one has the highest ratings, the reviews, and download a few and play with them and see which ones seem more, easier to work with. I like InShot. It's one of the ones that I use, but a few of my agents use some other ones. So yeah, that's a great question. So if you're looking to give it a little bit of a polish or a professional look, download an app on your phone. You can upload the video right into it and start editing it. Does Hannah Yu tell you how to set up a Facebook business page? I do believe that there is some content on setting up a Facebook business page out there. I'm not quite sure if it's on Hannah University, but if it is, we're going to make sure that it comes out to you in the next couple of days or early next week. So New York has a disclosure form from board that's templated for e-signature process. That's great. So I'm not quite sure if you can fill it out in New York, like the customer can fill it out remotely, or if they have to print it and then you have to scan it back in. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure that those of you in New York know that. So the questions and answers, they're going to be reviewed, and some of these questions will be answered, and there'll be a Q&A that's sent out to you guys in regards to all the questions that were asked. So if I've missed any, they will be in the questions and answers. Where can I find the Howard Hanna Pro list? So if you're in GoHanna and you come to Agent Tools, I believe it is down here called Hanna Home Pros. And if Mighty is in your market, you will actually see Mighty under Agent Tools as well. So the question is should a virtual tour include a voice or just videos? So if the homeowner is doing it, you can advise them not to give you a commentary while walking through the home. But some of those apps that we talked about downloading to do a video editor through your smartphone, you can actually do a voice layover, or you can do a music layover. So if someone was talking in the background, you can cut out their voice and put music over it. There's all kinds of different things that you can adapt to and learn, with the virtual world. Okay, so one of the questions is, can we go into a vacant house and do a virtual tour in a certain county? I will tell you, you're going to have to listen to your government officials. The safety of your family, the safety of your client's family is so vitally important right now, okay? So you really need to follow the rules and regulations that are mandated in your state and in your county. I cannot stress that to you enough. We don't want you guys falling ill. We don't want your friends and family coming ill because you are out doing something that you shouldn't have. There are some states and some counties that are real estate is deemed essential. Here in Pennsylvania, it is deemed non-essential. Not all of us agree with that. I believe shelter is one of the main resources that every person needs to have. And there are current situations that that we're in right now that are putting buyers and sellers in a very uncomfortable life situation. And they need homes, they need housing. So, you know, do I believe that we're not essential? Absolutely not. I believe we are very essential to our way of life. And, you know, day by day, hour by hour, that is subject to change. I know that we have Howard Hanna working with, you know, our government officials to try to assist in any way they can, but we're trying to keep everybody safe and healthy and reduce the curve to make sure that, you know, we get through this because we're all in it together. So that's very important, but you do want to follow the rules and regulations that have been mandated by your government right now for the safety of you and your families, okay? Okay, so this is a question. Is there a way to do a virtual open house and see who came? Or is there a way to have people sign in to your virtual open house? So this is a very good question. I have been learning something. I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you real quick. So if you come over to GoHanna and you go to open to close, this was something that it just came out. I know that we're bombarded with emails, but if you can really catch those Hannah U or presentations that are coming out through Hannah Education, this came out as a tech tip recently. So if I'm in open to close, and I'm hoping this is in all of your marketplaces, but if I come over here to the toolbar, I can actually go to edit, preview, sign in form. And this was one of the tips that just recently came out, and I was really, really excited about it. Right here below more features, there is a registration link that you can actually send out in an e-card to everybody prior to you holding a virtual open house on social media. Or so we did a YouTube video this past Sunday on Howard Hanna West Suburban's office page. And we did a YouTube video with the property panorama virtual tours that were provided by our West Penn Multi-List. I could have sent out this link, I learned it after the fact, through an e-card to everyone asking them to register, and then I could send them the YouTube video after the fact. That allows me to capture their information. So if you copy this, you know, registration link here, it'll let you know that's been copied to a clipboard. You can simply put that in an e-card, let everyone know that on Sunday you're hosting an open house from 1 to 4 virtually. Would they like to attend? They can fill out the registration link, and then, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here is the registration link, which is great. This was, again, a tech tip that was sent out recently. It's actually phenomenal. For 123 Main Street, register. Are you looking to buy or sell? How did you hear about this open house? It would be an e-card, so it would be other, or an email. Would you like to know how much your home is worth? And yes or no, which is really, really great resource. Again, that's in Spacio. Come back over here. I went to Agent Tools, Open to Close. I have to go into the agent dashboard, and when I come in and my property appears, remember each property has its own menu. You come over to the green bar, edit, preview, sign in, copy that registration link, send it out in an e-card, let everyone know that you're hosting an open house coming up. Would they like to be a part of it? And then you can still share your open house on social media, but maybe at 12 o'clock you share the link with them first, particularly if you're doing your virtual tour via YouTube or you're just sending the property panorama. So this is a way that you can connect with people. Great, great question. Okay, in regards to the seller's disclosure statement being filled out digitally, whenever I put together the presentation for Digital Ink, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to share a document, which would be the seller's disclosure, in order to have that filled out by the seller. Okay, so I will go ahead and go over that. I'm going to create that video for you guys and get that out to you soon. So a virtual open house is simply that. It is a walkthrough of the property. It's a recording of the home, or a slideshow of the photos that were already taken, that are put together on a nice video set to some music or a audio layover that you can go ahead and get out to the customer so that they can see the home. A lot of times people will just go to howardhanna.com and they'll flip through the photos, but if you have a more detailed or you held back on some photos, you can provide some more content to them once you're sharing that link with them. So that is all I have today. I hope that you found this video or this presentation helpful, and we'll send you over some questions and answers here shortly, and we'll be putting together a full Digital Ink ZipLogic presentation for you that you can preview at any time at your leisure, for those of you that it applies to, because I'm not quite sure ZipLogic is in every market. So thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate it, and take care.